Alright, we just came out, a special advanced screening of The Predator. We have both been dying to see this one. Yes. Huge Predator fans, so let's dive in.
So this is a spoiler-filled review of The Predator, and if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out.
Alright, you're back. So, to distinguish this from all the other Predator movies, basically this one involves a little tiny Predator in a battle, steals something, crash lands on Earth, the stupid humans get involved, and the big-ass Predator comes back to destroy property and beat up the little Predator, and hilarity ensues. Alright, we start off with likes. Moshe, what do you have?
Oh my god, I'm pretty sure you like the same thing as I did, but there was a lot of really great gore in there. People getting cut in half, people getting
disemboweled,
knives stuck in their face.
Oh, yeah, really that one scene where he just like reduced that guy to pulp.
And that's what Predator is known for.
Yeah,
gory shit.
But I would dare to say this was the goriest.
I would think so too.
Of the Predator movies, they really ratcheted that up.
So Gore fans out there.
Yes, and we thank Shane Black for doing that because Predators are badass mofos and they should be tearing things up. You're right. Yes. That was definitely a huge like for me. They also incorporated some comedy into this, and it actually worked for me. Me too.
I
like, because they needed filler. You know, they didn't have the non-stop action that the first Predator movie had, or you know, the tension that the second Predator movie had. So they had to have a little filler. And, you know, the various people that they introduced, they were loonies, they were all outcasts, they had a nice, you know, sense of humor.
Yeah.
And it was actually, you know, like, legitimately funny, and it wasn't too much. Like, it kind of was towards the beginning, and then we're like, now the shit's in, so we're just gonna go with that. So I definitely did enjoy that. And for those of you wondering, of course, there was a fair amount of nods and throwbacks to the originals.
Yeah, Get to the Chopper.
Yeah, well, Get to the Choppers was the one that will be most remembered because it's such a play on words because it was motorcycle choppers. But they also said the first one was 87. The actual, you know, 97, the actual, you know, so the little things like that, you know, is a nice little. Sometimes when they have these franchise movies, they too much reference the early, or you have to know the early ones in order to enjoy this one, and this didn't do that. So I think it struck a very good balance between that and just someone who'd never seen it before. Yeah. All right, dislikes time. Indeed. Dante, tell me your dislikes, please. Wow. Okay, so the big overarching almost entire movie dislike is the gaping plot holes. I'm not even talking small ones. I mean, you have got a kid that, you know, can just instantly interact with alien technology. You've got a biologist who turns into an ass-kicking military, you know, woman. You have got people that are just figuring things out with no previous or prior ability or knowledge. You have alien technology that is working for humans and doing exactly what is needed to move the plot along, which is ludicrous. I mean, it's insultingly bad. And then it goes part and parcel with this, but I really got bothered by the translation. Yeah. You did as well? Yeah, when it went from alien to English. And back, like, you know, okay, they hinged the whole plot on the idea that the Predator as a species takes the best from each planet it visits to make itself better. Utterly ridiculous, not grounded at least a bit in science, so it's completely stupid because take that out, as you should, and there's no reason for a predator to ever learn human English. And flip it over and say we've taken their tech and blah, blah, blah. I don't care if they gave $1 billion grant to Harvard linguists, we're not going to be able to figure their language out. You know, that was just terrible, absolutely insulting. Then the other thing, the big one, like that we just came out of this, so it's just fresh and everything's scrambling in my mind, is what was it? I said it on the way out. Oh man, was it?
Was it putting the DNA, the human DNA in the?
Well, I thought that was all stupid and ridiculous. No, I know what it was. Okay, they do this a lot, and it just bugs the hell out of me. So call it a pet peeve if you like. Now, popcorn munchers, eat it up. But I hate when you attribute and assign very human characteristics to alien things. That would be the predator dogs.
Predator dogs.
I mentioned in the trailer reactions I was not keen on the predator dogs, okay? It didn't make sense to me why a species that hunts people would need dogs. Yes, I get that hunters use dogs, whatever. They introduced them and I was like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna go with it. But then, these were alien dogs, right? So they're raised on an alien planet, had different things, and they're acting exactly like a human dog. They're fetching. When they, you know, the dog they fetched with a hand grenade, it brought it back and laid it in front of its owner, just like a human dog. They had no loyalty, just like a human. It makes absolutely no sense, and it was just, it ripped me right out of the narrative again and again and again, which is a tragedy because I may not have mentioned it in the likes, but there were some really good core ideas in here, and then they would just blow it up by doing something stupid. So,
I agree.
Okay. Was there anything else that you?
Yeah. Well, I agree with a lot of what you said.
All right.
Definitely,
yeah.
But I want to also add that they didn't use a lot of thermal vision.
Oh, that's a good one.
So that kind of really upset me a lot because the thermal vision was what really turned me on to Predator.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
So I didn't see a lot of it, so I was really upset by that.
That, and then, sorry, you just reminded me two things. Number one, the Predator has been previously established, didn't have the bestest of times operating in our environment without its mask off.
Yeah.
These did, no problemo. Two, these Predators were dumb. All right? They actually had a scene very reminiscent of the first with it fighting in the jungle against a group of people, okay? And it didn't fall into traps. You know, it actually like climbed down a round tree and came up behind you, and that made it frightening and scary. You know, and they couldn't, and they just didn't have any of that. This was not a scary predator. It was like a badass predator.
You're talking about that big predator?
Either one of them. I didn't see them doing, you know, like, one of the best scenes in the first Predator that really summed it all up was, you know, I believe it was maybe even Carl Weathers, but I'm sure, standing there and he's all intent and he's ready to shoot and kill, and you just see this claw come behind him half, you know, hidden because of the thermal, you know, camouflage, and you're like, oh my god, you know, and it's slow. Because the Predator's smart enough to know that if it makes a sound, it'll be detected, not just it can't be seen. And we just didn't see any of that. You know.
And one last thing, especially with that big predator, he just kept throwing the main guy around. You know, if the real predator actually grabbed the guy, he probably would have ripped him apart so easily. Ripped him apart,
clawed his face off, you know.
And the ending was pretty awful, too.
So the less said about the ending, the better, but I do have to say this really, really quick. If you are willing to accept that, so, okay, I mentioned the cool idea, right? So one of the cool ideas was that the Earth is warming up. It's been established that predators like warm environments, so they're coming more often. Okay, that's a good idea, right? So then they say, a second that, we're just figured out that the skinny alien predator has brought something to humanity to help save the planet, or save us, however you want to word it, doesn't matter. What did he bring us? They brought us this wacky Iron Man armor bullshit that kills other predators. Not sure how that helps us survive a warming planet. But there it is, folks. That's your ending. It is Pinhead time. And Marcia, what are you going to do?
I'm going to give it 3 pinheads.
Oh, 3
A lot of it for the gore.
Yes.
That was just fucking amazing.
Yes.
So, yeah, just Gore.
Okay, and that's fair, and I'm with you. I am giving it a lot of leeway because it hit a lot of my pet peeves, and you know that. But yes, it was gory as hell. Good gore. And it's predators. I always give something for predators. So for me, it's going to be 2 pinheads, just for that. But between your 3 and my 2, that's going to make it a 2 1/2 pinhead movie. Well, you missed me giving Marcia some math lessons, but add it up and let us know what you guys think.
Ooh, that was smooth.
Yeah, well, you know.
Smooth like thermal vision.
Ooh, that makes no sense.